overcome a massive heart attack, but it also has built up my natural immune defenses against colds and flus. Extendivite has so many benefits that we all should be taking Extendivite to build up our defenses for what superbugs might emerge yet. So start today, clean out the toxins, and be as healthy as you can be. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822. Or visit our website at heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
You're listening to GCN. Great Talk Radio starts here. Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. It is Tuesday. Thank you for joining us, the 17th day of April, 2011. And this is the day that the government has made. Government is what makes the sun sit in the sky and the earth orbit it. Government is what runs our lives. And, of course, that controls the government is the loving private megabanks openly establishing world government in everyone's face. So we are going to be discussing all of this today. Normally you pay on April 15th, but because of a federal holiday yesterday, you do not pay on the 15th, you pay on the 17th, because the 15th fell on a Sunday. There was a federal holiday on the 16th, the build-up to the holy day when you pay the private Federal Reserve your tax money. And then, of course, today is the day. Of course, most of you just have your money taken out of your paycheck and, of course, taken via Social Security that you'll never really collect on, or if you do, it'll be in devalued dollars. And it was really hitting me this morning that we pay the income tax that's in the Communist Manifesto and in the 10 planks of the Communist Manifesto that was written by the big European banks on record through their agents, Marx and Engels, as a way to pay for the interest on the right to even have a currency. And they got to us a little bit later, by 1913, took them a few decades to slowly implement it because they knew they had us. They wanted to take their time. And since then, we've become the greatest debtor nation from the greatest creditor nation. And in every other statistic, we are the laughingstock. We are the imperium. We are the heart of the New World Order muscle. We are the modern Hessian mercenaries for the New World Order. Now, we are going to open the phones up. I'm going to give the number out when we come back from break. So start your engines. We're not giving you the green light yet. I want to hear from you. We're going to take a bunch of calls ahead of Alan Watt joining us. That means I'll probably get to calls in the last segment of this hour, or maybe not even this hour. No, seriously. I'm going to try to go to your calls in the next segment. In fact, in the spirit of that, let me just give the number out right now for first-time callers. The first few rounds will be first-time callers, 800-259-9231. And we don't screen your calls. You can talk about any issue you want, but if it's just a bunch of plugs or you got a tractor you're selling, or you want to ask me if I'm a reptoid from Planet Pop-Tart, then, well, we're just not going to be able to talk very long. I want to hear questions, comments, or points you've got to make and move on to the next person. Because it's like that holy grail I've never actually attained, but a few times I've actually taken a bunch of phone calls. We can take thousands of phone calls here, and I think it's some of the best radio I do when I actually take phone calls. So we're going to do it 800-259-9231 is the toll-free number to join us, and we will get you up and on the air. 800-259-9231. When we come back, I will give you the top stories briefly, and then start going to your calls and then go back into them. But we did a story yesterday, Paul Watson and myself, IRS travel ban, revoking citizenship by stealth. It was the top story on the vaunted Mac Daddy of traffic, DrudgeReport.com. It's since moved off the page, but the top story at Drudge is record numbers of Americans giving up their citizenship to get away from the private Federal Reserve tax man that's raping them. Of course, the globalist answer is, hey, Jack, you ain't leaving. We're taking everything you got. The illegals can come in, but the slave Americans cannot get out. A little over a year ago, I began to do a lot of research into why, even if I had a pretty good-sized meal, that I was still starving. And my research led me to a well-known fact that most of the soils that we grow our crops on here in the United States and across the industrialized world are almost completely depleted of almost all of the key minerals and trace elements that our bodies need to rebuild themselves, fight off cancer, and be healthy. I then searched out the best vitamin and mineral company out there and discovered Youngevity. The Youngevity products are designed to give you the real nutrition you need, and once you've got that, you don't have to eat as much to be satisfied. I've lost 37 pounds in 2 months, simply getting the vitamins and minerals I need. Check it out for yourself. It's incredible. Go to InfoWarsTeam.com today and order your first canister of Beyond Tangy Tangerine Complete Multivitamin Mineral Complex Dietary Supplement. That's InfoWarsTeam.com. Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite are now storing non-hybrid seeds in secret storage vaults near the Arctic Circle? Did you know that in a real meltdown, non-hybrid seeds can become more valuable than silver or gold? It's true, seeds have outperformed even gold and silver before in this country, and it's possible that could even happen again. So our friends at Solutions from Science have put together the perfect mix of non-hybrid seeds. They call it a survival seed bank, and it can produce an endless supply of nutrient-dense food for you and your family. And here's the best part. These seeds have not been genetically modified in any way, and you actually get enough seeds to plant a full-acre crisis garden. So visit them today at survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com, or give them a call at 877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365. Remember, in a real crisis, non-hybrid seeds are the ultimate barter item. This is Alex Jones for survivalseedbank.com.
You've heard Alex explain how the Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced colloidal silver solutions, yet many are unaware of the entire function of the Silver Lungs system and how it has been designed to deliver your silver solutions anywhere in or on the body. My name is Mario Cifaldi, and I'm the developer of the Silver Lungs generator. Not only does the Silver Lungs system produce endless colloidal and ionic silver solutions, it also comes equipped with the proper applicators and devices needed to deliver your silver solutions directly to key target areas. This includes the eyes, ears, nose, lungs, topically to the skin, and orally for the digestive system. Be sure to watch our new 7-minute video tour of the Silver Lungs system at www.silverlungs.com to learn more about how the Silver Lungs system works. As well, we are always ready to answer any questions you may have. That's www.silverlungs.com.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Welcome to the #1 radio transmission in the world. #1 when it comes to defending liberty and exposing the global corporate crime syndicate that is the New World Order. You want to know why standardized worldwide you see police state grids being put in and the exact same programs, the exact same names under continuity of agenda? It is a global corporate world government that we face. It is the New World Order. It is the main fount or the organizer of all the major problems on Earth. Humans, we have our own problems. We have our own issues. We repeat throughout history, generation after generation. We only live for a short period. The elites understand that if people aren't given the knowledge of how humanity operates and are kept in the dark, the average person will never become wise and in your limited lifespan understand the tricks that corrupt syndicates have developed in every civilization in more than 6,000 years of human settlements. Civilization. The globalists know all the tricks and are masters at it. And that, simply put, is what the Illuminati is. They are illuminated. They have the light. They know the tricks. They know the secrets of humanity. They know the basic psychology before that word was invented. They wrote the handbooks on control and deception, and they pass it down through the different genetic crime families that are intermarried, and they control this planet to a great extent. They are trying to get full control, and if they get full control, they are going to kill. Depending on which document you read, they debate it, 80 to 90, all the way up to 99.9+%. And I've quoted these documents ad nauseum. We've posted articles. There's new articles at Infowars.com today documenting this. Now, humanity is in grave peril. When you look at the innocence of children, when you look at the decency and the beauty and the goodness and the wholesomeness in the world, you have to understand there is more good in the world than evil. But good never seeks power until things get so desperate. Good is forced to fight back. And generally, it's against overwhelming odds because you've waited too long. But still, good triumphs when it takes action. The first that stand up may be destroyed, and maybe the second and third and fourth wave. But those that persevere with truth and justice and goodness stacked against evil will always prevail in the end. Now, I want to take your phone calls today. I want to get the calls first and early here. And then coming up, we wrote a story yesterday, Paul Watson and I, IRS travel ban revoking citizenship by stealth. And I noticed that it went up on the Drudge Report as the top story. And then I noticed about an hour later, because I'm always swimming around over at the Drudge Report checking for the latest news, orbiting it. And I noticed another article popped up from CBC, Canadian TV and media, documenting that record numbers of Americans are giving up their citizenship to get out from under the taxes in the United States that are unbelievably unfair and draconian, and most importantly, paid to the private run-for-profit Federal Reserve. Literally, Reagan's administration did a congressional study. You can look it up. It reported over 98% of it went to interest on the debt and to pay for interest for the dollar to be created, paid to the private Federal Reserve. A few percentage points went to administrative issues. And then separately, Social Security goes in another fund. They rated from day one. It's about tying you into their system, getting you into the Ponzi scheme so you'll stay in, even if the payment's reduced. You'll stay into the system, seeing it as too big to fail, so you'll stay in the fraud. Our government, our country, our system was built on federal taxes that range between, depending on the era, 5 and 10%. I hear this lie about when the income tax first went in. I hear it ad nauseum on TV and radio put out by the Democrats. Oh, the first tax rates were 90% for the rich. Yes, there was a corporate tax that they sold to get the income tax finagled, though it wasn't ratified by the states. It's a fraud as well, where there were corporate taxes of 90%, but no one had to pay it because there were accounting tricks where you just paid it out to other subsidiaries and yourself. So another fraud. But I don't want to get caught up in the minutia here. This is tax day when you're paying the private Federal Reserve. And make no mistake, you pay the lion's share of your taxes that they take out of your paycheck, that you pay at the end of the year or you pay quarterly, depending on how you pay. You pay it directly to Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citigroup. Now, continuing with this information. When you pull back and look at it, we have a private Federal Reserve in this country, and they're not just getting your income tax money that's paid directly to them for interest on the debt that they set up to put the government in fraudulently. Now they've signed us on to their derivatives fraud and had government sign on to it and spin it that it's our debt and we're lazy and we're not working enough jobs, the uniquely American thing that Bush talked about, working 3 jobs and having your children raised by the state and government training centers, eating GMO poison and dying of cancer if they're not neurologically damaged, or both. In death camp America, slow death, soft kill, eugenics America. Rothschild, Rockefeller, Bill Gates, death camp. Slow kill, death camp. So understand, what will bring down the Federal Reserve is exposing it's not federal, it's run for profit, and it's waging war on the free market and is selectively enforcing the tax laws that they wrote, the Federal Reserve lobbyists wrote, to shut down all their competition. They are monopoly men. They are the enemy of this country. They are the occupational government. They are our conquerors. They are the fraudsters. They are the people that killed the republic. They are the people openly, they have thousands of Federal Reserve operatives involved at every level of local government, you name it, lobbying and selling, raising taxes to pay off our debt and get America back on its feet. They mean give all the money to them, cut the benefits, bankrupt the economy further so they can buy it up for pennies on the dollar. They are the authors of our destruction. They are the authors of our misery. They are the enemies. They are the hijackers. They are the criminals. They are the destroyers. They are the fraud. They are the criminal crime syndicate. They are the combine. They are the enemy of every man, woman, and child. They are the shadow government. They are the usurpers, the scammers, the fraudsters, the Ponzi scheme operators that make Madoff and Ken Lay and John Corzine look like choir boys. They are the open enemy. They are the people writing the policy to break up the families and militarize the police and have cities go bankrupt and then squeeze the public for more money. They want a post-industrial world. They want you bankrupt. They want you impoverished. They openly say they want that. They are complete enemies of savers and investors and small factory owners. They are the enemy of every man, woman, and child in this country. They are the foreign European banks that got the lion's share of the bailout money. And you got Americans like Warren Buffett and subsidiary companies he's got with Bill and Melinda Gates who got over $1 trillion into their companies of the bailout money. Warren Buffett himself in the first round, $3 billion. First 2+ bill, then a few $100 million more, then billions more. It's so incredible. And here is this demonic pig sitting up there acting non-threatening like Mr. Magoo when he is a crime lord going, gee, I want to pay more taxes. Just raise taxes, because he knows he's exempt from them, and even the Washington Post admits that, and he's the biggest beneficiary. Now, that said, I'm going to come back and go to your phone calls, but then later I'm getting into this, because some people, I got emails, I saw text, I saw comments on YouTube, I saw comments on our article. IRS travel ban revoking citizenship by stealth. And people are like, how does that revoke citizenship? You cannot, under federal court rulings, the Constitution, and no other government does this but Russia, by the way, take someone's passport extrajudicially without a conviction. You cannot take someone's citizenship, and the passport is the right of a citizen to travel in and out of the country. We are the country. This is an ancient right going back to Greece, going back to Rome, going back to city-states, that you have passage into the city, into the country. You pay taxes because you're paying for the defense for the walls of your city or of your country. You have rights that the slaves don't. Oh, in all those cultures, they had slaves. Slaves do not have right of passage. The passport is the proof that you're a free man in the slave system, part of the empire. The bankers are saying, you're not part of America anymore. You are our slaves, our chattel. A little over a year ago, I began to do a lot of research into why, even though I had a pretty good-sized meal, that I was still starving. And my research led me to a well-known fact that most of the soils that we grow our crops on here in the United States and across the industrialized world are almost completely depleted of almost all of the key minerals and trace elements that our bodies need to rebuild themselves, fight off cancer, and be healthy. I then searched out the best vitamin and mineral company out there and discovered Youngevity. The Youngevity products are designed to give you the real nutrition you need, and once you've got that, you don't have to eat as much to be satisfied. I've lost 37 pounds in 2 months, simply getting the vitamins and minerals I need. Check it out for yourself. It's incredible. Go to InfoWarsTeam.com today and order your first canister of Beyond Tangy Tangerine Complete Multivitamin Mineral Complex Dietary Supplement. That's InfoWarsTeam.com.
HempUSA.org brings you pure camu berry powder. This revolutionary powder contains 50 times the vitamin C of an orange, mixes with any juice or liquid, has 227 servings per container, and is made from naturally grown camu berries, not chemically produced in a laboratory. Order camu berry powder today. Call 908-691-2608 or visit HempUSA.org and see what our powder, seeds, and oil can do for you.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
BePrepared.com is making deals in April because you need to be prepared now and you need to save. BePrepared.com is the official site of Emergency Essentials, a 24-year leader in emergency preparedness supplies. Everything from long-term food storage to emergency kits, water storage and filtration to alternative light and heat sources. What's on sale? Now through April 30th, save 28% on a freeze-dried garden vegetable combo, which includes peas, corn, beans, cauliflower, celery, and onions. Save 33% on the Catadyne Hiker microfilter. New instant white rice as low as $8.49 and a 72-hour MRE food and water supply, a $72 value for only $49.99 and much more at BePrepared.com. Call 800-999-1863 to experience exceptional customer service and our low price guarantee. That's 800-999-1863. Hurry, the BePrepared.com April sale ends April 30th. The choice is clear. Be unprepared or BePrepared.com.
We all know that Berkey Water Purification Systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey Water Filtration Systems. The Berkey Light Systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light Systems system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231. And the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at GoBerkey.com. That's GoBerkey.com today.
By the way, one more point that I'm going to your calls before I get into this top story, IRS travel ban revoking citizenship by stealth, and how it ties into Paul Watson's latest article at Infowars.com. IRS to revoke passports of 30,000 U.S. troops. You heard that right. But, of course, they might be given selective waivers. The TSA is now announcing they'll decide who gets to get waived from the crotch grope. The point here is that I've seen a lot of people comment that, well, already states request that the federal government not issue you a passport or cancel it if you owe child support. You can't strip somebody of their absolute right. But, of course, it started with the children. Well, it's for the children, and now it's for the Federal Reserve. And it's going to be, you can't have a job, you can't have a car, you can't travel. You say, well, you'll just drive illegally. Well, now they've got license plate readers, and in real time know if you're even up on your insurance. The future is going to be a hellish system. The economy is meant to be predatory now. We are meant to go into a cannibalistic phase politically, economically, where we implode. You think 2 million in prisons 10 years ago, 4 years ago, 4.5 million, now 7.1. They estimate by the next decade it'll be more than 15 million in prison. More prisoners than China. This is the economy. And then the people come out of the jails not afraid to commit crime, not afraid to rape and rob. They're colleges of crime. America is under a scientific attack. There's the New York Times. U.S. prison population dwarfs that of other nations. The United States has less than 5% of the world's population, but it has almost a quarter of the world's prisoners. All right, let's go to your phone calls. David, Tony, Cameron, Christopher, Jeff, Wally. David in Florida, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Alex. I really love your show a lot. I was wondering if you'd seen the study a month or two ago that came out in the news that 20% of the population, 25% of women are now on psychotropic drugs. I was stunned at how high the number is now. Yes,
and New Freedom Initiative, remember 6 years ago, that leaked out because one of the board members exposed it. It was meetings with the White House, the regulators, and Big Pharma, and they said the goal was within, I forget, was it 10 years? I don't remember the exact number. They wanted 50% of school kids, of children, on psychotropics. And back then they had about 10%, and now I was reading it's over 20 for kids, over 20 for women. And this is the way they roll, yeah.
Right. In my opinion, what I think is there's a lot of fascinating subjects you discuss, like the Fed and TSA and the upcoming police state. I think this is the number one issue, and the reason why is because having everybody drugged out and apathetically in a zombie state, like walking in front of the cars, as you said a few weeks ago, this allows them to roll in all the other programs.
Sure, it is. We've done reports on it and shown the scientific reports, the universities. Since TV became ubiquitous across the board everywhere in the 50s, brainwaves have lowered. Brainwaves, IQs, and you can just pull up, every week now it's a study. Computers rewiring children's brains, lowering IQs. You can also, guys, just type in iPads causing autism. And it literally is. The language has been reduced, where people don't have very many words anymore. Their vocabulary is lower. Advertising agencies are putting out reports saying dumb it down to a third-grade level for adults now. And it's just all about being programmed into a zombie state. And so people are either awakening to a higher level or they're being dumbed down. And yes, sir, the average person, you say, people like, it's like they're in a trance. It's not like they are in a near dream state. And they have pre-programmed responses. It's like black helicopters just terrorized Chicago. But 15 years ago, they would just say it didn't exist, you were insane, even if they covertly leased a building and blow it up. Local news, would, because I've been to these, would say, it does not exist, Alex Jones is bad. And I'd go, here's footage of it. They'd go, does not exist. See, they were already in a trance. And you're like, but I have footage. I talked to the police chief. They tried to pay him off. The San Antonio News was like, does not exist. The Austin American Statesman said, Jones is insane. It's like the New York Times just 4 years ago said, Bilderberg doesn't exist, Jones is hallucinating. You understand? This is total mind control. So your conscience, and it's like, well, it doesn't make any sense because you're awake. But to a zombie, it's like a magician who hypnotizes somebody and they can't see the audience anymore. They are in a dream state. Stay there. I want to give you another comment because I ran over you. More calls coming up. This is an important subject. Black helicopters hit Chicago, but they do not exist. Remember that.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Right now, the average family spends 1/4 of their income on food. It's time to cut your food budget in half by using the best, most affordable food on the planet from eFoods Direct. The savings from eating this food will actually help you pay your other bills. Serve these delicious meals to your family tonight for a quick and easy dinner for about $1.25 a serving, compared to over $3 a serving for any other food. This food is compact, making it easy to store some away, and will be just as delicious in 25 years as the ones you cook tonight. Is it affordable? Absolutely. The new Alex Jones Family Pack saves you up to 50% compared to other food storage companies. See the comparison at eFoodsDirect.com/Alex or call 800-409-5633. My friends, as crazy as this world is today, you'd be nuts to not get a storable food supply. Give eFoods Direct a call and order one of the Alex Jones Family Packs and test it out today. Start your journey of food independence today at eFoodsDirect.com/Alex or call 800-409-5633. I had tried everything. I'd cut back the amount of food I was eating. I was lifting weights and jogging, but nothing was working. My body was literally starving for minerals and trace elements as well as key vitamins. And as soon as I had that, I immediately could eat half of what I was eating previously and be satisfied. Now, there are hundreds of great products at InfoWarsTeam.com, but I want to point out the 3 that have helped me lose 37 pounds in just 2 months. Products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and Rebound. When I started taking the Tangy Tangerine and other products every day, I lost more than 37 pounds in just 2 months. Now that's results. I want to challenge my listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com and to order just 3 of their products, and you will see the changes in the way you look, feel, and in your appetite almost immediately. Start your journey to health and wellness today. InfoWarsTeam.com.
When you're out on the road, the last place you want to be is on the road. But if the unfortunate happens, you'll be glad you were wearing diamond gussets.
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They so pride in every stitch, guarantee you'll love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
We turn jeans inside out. Diamond gusset jeans, made in the USA with unparalleled quality. Our Defender motorcycle jeans combine gusset comfort with Kevlar protection, so you can ride all day with confidence. Order yours at gusset.com. Diamond gusset jeans got it, others don't.
You know, like I said, and documented years ago, I have been inside the University of Texas Psychology building and was shown around. It's got a lot of classified projects going on in it. and they've got cameras into classified projects hooked into computer systems. This is like a decade ago, or more now. This is just about a decade ago. Hooked into all the different laboratories spread out around Austin in the hill country. And most of it is just monkeys chained down with their wires in their brains, with TV screens flickering different rates at them, testing how to lower their brain waves and put them into a trance. And then they have students come in and hook them up to the EKG systems and all these electrodes on their heads and just practice. They'll have whole programs on just how to stimulate a woman sexually. I was shown one DARPA program with just flicker rates. So they send a flicker wave over through the television, and then they've got other programs that they found, well, if you sexually stimulate and then hit them with this other rate and then show them something else, you can really imprint the knowledge on them, and by knowledge, the brainwashing. And my point is, that was just one example. And it's just all the universities, all the complexes dedicated to wrecking your mind and hurting you and murdering you and your family. I just lay it right out there for you. And again, we're all just comfortable. 10,000 percentage point pediatric cancer cases, multi-thousand point increases, breast cancer, neurological disorders, everything, death, destruction, pain, sickness, cancer Barbie, it's fun, everybody gets it. It's like getting a cold now. And it's just all fun to be murdered, soft-killed. And the professors, I mean, when I was there 10 years ago, I was given like a 4-hour tour. It was amazing, late at night. Oh, you're not supposed to see this. Oh, look at that. What do you think of that? Oh, you didn't see that. Come in here. DARPA, 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 Department of Defense, Air Force, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Every sector would have on the door what was funding it. And everything was about mind control on one floor. Go to another area, it's all about cameras that scan your facial expressions to tell what products you're looking and that track your eyes. And the cameras are hidden when you go into the smart stores. Now, of course, that's been put in everywhere. It is just total, absolute savage control. And that's why you talk to the average adult, there's no way to even reach them or get through to them. They're just not there. These are zombies. And men tune into their sports shows and they talk about the coach. I think he's underrated. I agree with you. What about this great player? Let's get a call. And you hear the prideful player call in. Yeah, I'm doing good. The team's doing great. We're getting ready for this Sunday. All right, great. And it's all this fake male stuff. And these are just people inserted into the matrix, programmed through their eyes, through their ears, interfaced with the computers, and they're gone and they ain't coming back. And the women are all prancing around, enjoying themselves. And, oh, girlfriend, you got cancer at 32. I'm so sorry for you. Oh, we're all going to go to her funeral. It's so sad. You go to get your hair cut, and you hear the women all around you. Yeah, my friend Becky, she just died, 37. Oh, yeah, well, my boyfriend's got cancer. Oh, really? My boyfriend just died last year of it. He was 24. Oh, yeah. And then you go to a restaurant, and there's mentally retarded children and everywhere, and just autistic, just total savage death. Everybody's just, la, 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 murder me, murder me, murder me. You know, I mean, I'm sorry. I said I'd go to your calls. And I just sit here and watch it. And the general public is just victims. I can't even get mad at them anymore. They were hit by hardcore scientific evil. Troops are dying of DU poisoning, don't get medical treatment. But then there's all this sticky, sweet stuff about loving the troops and getting money for their kids so they can go to college, and all the country music stars raising money for the troops because they're the best people we got. Meanwhile, you only care about the troops, though, when you're told to on specific things. It's all half an inch deep, mile wide. All hat, no cattle. Okay, I'm going to go back to the calls here. And people are like, hey, they've been taking passports for about 10 years if you owe child support, so it's all right. It's kind of like saying, we've had black slaves in the Americas for 250 years. You can't get rid of it now. I mean, the Aztecs were chopping people's hearts out every day for thousands of years under the Mayan culture before them. I mean, why not bring it back? They did it before. I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer grabbed 13-year-olds off the street and tortured them to death. Why not just do, it's been, I love this idea that, you know, we've had the IRS and the private Federal Reserve running things for 98 years or 99 years since 1913. I mean, what's wrong with it? It's all about acclimating you. There's no world government. There's no urban warfare black helicopters. I mean, I sat there with a statesman writer who'd been the former employee high level of the DPS and DPS intelligence. And I'm in the interview, and he's going, so you believe there are these black helicopters? And I went, well, I have interviews with the police chiefs. They try to pay them off. Thomas Sanchez, urban warfare drills. And he went, so you believe they exist? And I went, well, they do exist. They're doing urban warfare drills to acclimate us. It's part of this presidential decision directive to get us ready for martial law. This is like 14 years ago. And then they just went with the statesman. Jones believes they exist. And you know, the guy was sitting there looking at me just with cold mercenary behavior. He was an old guy. In fact, his name's out there on the paper. It's actually hanging on the wall. We've got it framed because it's so funny. In fact, will you guys run me that black helicopter story, and it's hanging on the wall right there. I'll show it to the TV viewers. Tim, here at our office, dug through a bunch of the old boxes and found all these news clippings and framed them. It's kind of cool to actually have stuff on the walls. I'm always too busy to even think about that. And it's the one about preaching the conspiracy gospel on a station near you. That's the headline on it, guys. It's right there. Now, and he just sat there looking at me. And he had that secure feeling, you know. He works for the system. And the public is going to get to laugh at me. It's going to be funny. And they're all going to get to feel official and powerful and laugh at me. And then when the urban warfare drill hits them, they'll say doesn't exist. So if they ever do a coup d'etat over a governor or something, as the PDD state and as the John Warner Defense Authorization Act 2007 states, insurrection by state legislatures against the federal government, which is run by foreign banks, the captured, occupied federal government. Here it is. Look, here it is. We'll show folks the document cam right here. Look at this. Alex Jones preaching the conspiracy gospel at a station near you. And that's only part of the article. They had a separate article right next to it. And, of course, it was Mike Kelly. I mean, it wasn't that bad of an article. But still, it's a conspiracy theory to report on things that are real and admitted. Oh, wait a minute. I happen to have the Fox News here. What's this? Black Hawks circle low through Chicago skies as Secret Service releases security details. And it talks about the AMH-6 Little Bird helicopters used by special forces circling through downtown Chicago skies made for a scary scene along the Chicago River, rattled windows flying among the city skyscrapers, the training exercise. And you've got explosions and things going off, but it's still a conspiracy, children. All right. Go ahead, caller. Finish up your point, sir.
Okay, one last point I wanted to make. For those people who've got any doubts about a lot of things we talk about here, there's a key term they should look up: tardive dyskinesia. It's a neurological disease. And this is just incredible. When you look up what this word means, it's your tongue going in and out of your mouth uncontrollably. It's permanent, irreversible, and guess where it comes from? Antipsychotic medication. And according to Yale, you get it's not just a rare side effect, it's 100% of the people, if they're on this drug long enough, are going to get tardive dyskinesia. It's a key term. This word will wake people up when you look it up and see what the word is.
Well, all I know is neurological disorders are all off the charts. They're killing us 7 ways to Sunday, and it's funny to them that we're going into a THX 1138 situation. They force on children right at 69% nationwide average of foster children are on 7 or more psychotropic drugs, 7 on average. There's been news reports documenting that. And there have been doctors that have spoken out who even work in the CPS, and they say we get healthy kids, we put them on drugs, they start having problems, we put them on more, then they start having seizures from the drugs, so we put them on even more, and some of them were killing. I remember that was in a WOAI TV investigation where a whistleblower went public. And then they had a state hearing about it. It's in my film Endgame. And the state head psychiatrist said, well, they have bad gene pools. It's eugenics, so we just do this to them. I appreciate your call, sir. Thank you. Okay, let's go ahead and go to Tony in Toronto, Canada. You're on the air.
Hi, Alex. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm watching them kill everybody, but it's okay.
Yeah. Never a dull moment. Alex, I'll try to make it quick. I've been listening for 10 years, first-time caller. And after 10 years listening to you, I have to say pretty well every single thing you've said has come true. I stopped watching TV about 9 years ago after I woke up, thanks to you. And I constantly promote your show. And when I tell listeners to tune in, potential listeners, I always tell them, give Alex a chance. I said he's very passionate, but I always laugh and I tell them that I said many times Alex Jones has reported on things that sound outrageous. And I can remember many times over 10 years laughing, saying, that's impossible. And 99 out of 100 times, Alex, I've always laughed because everything you've reported on is absolutely conservative. The numbers you've quoted, it's many times worse. So I have to congratulate you that you're way ahead of the curve.
Well, God bless you, my friend. Good to hear you for the first time to hear your voice after 10 years. With me, there's a total desperation to get out of this, to beat them, to turn it back, because I love humanity. I love people just having good lives and going to the stars with my fellow humans. And instead, we've turned things over to the most wicked, twisted people who enjoy hurting people so they can sit back and dominate. These globalists can't be in control if we have a strong humanity. So they are basically lobotomizing humanity so they can then feel superior. And every fiber of my humanity and the species, race, memory, strength of our species tells me revolt, resist, adapt, overcome, defeat. And I'm just one person. We can do it together. And I wish that I wasn't right about this stuff. Again, look at the numbers. They're killing us. They're killing us. Everybody. There's only a few thousand globalists. They admit it themselves. Rothkopf wrote Superclass. 6,000 super gophers, less than 20 families. They are, and I appreciate your call. God bless you. Anything else?
Yes, Alex, I have some breaking news for you, and I'll try to make it quick.
Go ahead.
And I'm going to choose my words carefully because I have to protect who they are. I have a very good friend whose spouse works for one of the largest banks in Canada. This person is responsible for branches outside of Canada, and I'm not going to say where they are. And this person just recently, a week ago, confirmed they're working on a huge systems upgrade project where basically at the push of a button, they can shut down ATM and access to people's bank accounts for up to 12 hours. And when they come back online, there'll be maximum withdrawal amounts put in. And I was told this project is a huge priority. And also, the Bank of Canada, I was told, is backing or kind of pushing all the banks by offering them huge seven-figure bonuses if they meet the criteria to have all the systems in place by a certain date. I'm not sure what the date is. And I guess, Alex, I'm also going to surmise that if they're working on branches outside of Canada, these systems are either fully implemented or being implemented in Canada. And you've reported on similar systems like this in the U.S.
No, they're getting ready for currency and withdrawals and bank holidays. And I have the clip of the Vice President Biden saying that he and John Corzine discussed the bank holiday and whether they need one or not. This is a guy that'll bank holiday by taking the money out of your account and keeping it. And again, he gets away with it because this is a mafia of larcenous criminals with armies of scientists, DARPA, the CIA, everything on their side. And they just love it. I mean, it's just total criminals running around with their tongues hanging out with just super high-tech sci-fi technology on their side. But they're still humans too. And they're the scum of the earth. But I've actually heard a lot of rumblings about that. We've got embassy staff connections that have been giving us that same intel. And there's no doubt this has already happened in Europe during many crises. Thank you so much for the call. Let's go ahead and take another phone call. Jeff in Missouri, you're on the air.
Hello. How you doing, Alex?
Good, buddy.
Hey, I'm here in Missouri, and if I want everybody to get their W-2s, and time you add up your federal, state, city, Medicare, Social Security tax, you're damn near paying 50% of your income to the federal government in one form or another.
And then you got all the other property taxes and fines and fees and regulations. America actually has one of the highest tax rates now in the industrialized world.
And if they would charge us all at once, people would freak out because they divide it up. No one sees it. It's a trap.
And remember, the more you pay, the less industry, the less jobs, and the more in debt you are, because it's all on a gangster mafia 2 sets of book system where upwards of 76% goes out of the country. All they talk about is what's on budget, but that's only the 20-something% they keep. No matter how much you pay, we just go more bankrupt because it's designed to bankrupt us.
Exactly. Another thing I want to talk about real quick is I'm a letter carrier for the post office, and without going into too much detail, they are destroying us on purpose, Alex.
Of course.
And go ahead, use your online bill pay for free right now, but once the post office is destroyed, then you think that online bill pay is going to be free? No way.
No. Listen, the banks have said that. They're pressuring, a lot of companies make you get automatic transfer. But they admit, it's been public, that is very soon, well, Bank of America already tried it, they're going to charge you when you do that. And they're coming out with global and national taxes on all digital transfers anyways. Exactly. Once we're cashless, they are going to make you pay giant fees, and they're going to shut down the entire underground market. That's what Homeland Security's for. It's right out of Stalinist Russia. Anything else, sir?
Yeah, hold on.
All right, I'll give you another minute on the other side. And then we're going to go to Cameron and others. And we've got, at the 8 after, Alan Watt joining us. But it's just, what would total criminals do if they had Buck Rogers technology? That's the new world order. It's here. I'd seen the longevity products work for many others. And so I bought a bunch of them, started using them, had a little bit of results, but I wasn't following the regimen every day. But Aaron Dykes in my office did and lost more than 60 pounds. When I saw those results, I said, I better follow my own advice. I started taking the longevity products, and it's been incredible. 37 pounds in 2 months. Our bodies are amazing, and God gave us an incredible gift. But if our body doesn't have the tools it needs, all of the vitamins, all of the minerals, and the other key essential trace elements, we're not going to be healthy. Folks, this isn't hype. I only bring to my listeners products that I've tried myself and I truly believe in. And the amazing supplements available at InfoWarsTeam.com have certainly delivered in my life. I hope you'll give them a try. Go to InfoWarsTeam.com today and order your first canister of Beyond Tangy Tangerine Complete Multivitamin Mineral Complex Dietary Supplement. That's InfoWarsTeam.com.
In an emergency situation, would you drink contaminated water? You could if you had the amazing LifeStraw from MyPatriotSupply.com. LifeStraw is the most advanced personal water filter available today. It filters contaminated water from almost any source. LifeStraw is lightweight and compact, perfect for hiking, camping, or in an emergency like a flood. LifeStraw is easy to clean, comes with a 1-year warranty, and has been used worldwide since 2005. Get the amazing LifeStraw personal water filter at MyPatriotSupply.com. Plus, check out Survival Seed Vault, 20 seed varieties for only $37.95, Tatler canning lids, long-term storable foods as low as $69.95, and much more at MyPatriotSupply.com. Enjoy stress-free shipping on all orders over $49. Call 866-229-0927 or visit MyPatriotSupply.com. That's 866-229-0927. MyPatriotSupply.com for emergency preparedness, self-reliance, and food independence.
Would it save you time to get the best quality water filters and the best quality storable foods from one company? You bet it would, and now you can at BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. Big Berkey water filter products and great tasting, long-lasting, storable Wise Foods are both now available on one website, BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. Wise Foods, ready-to-eat meals are packed in airtight nitrogen pouches and come with a 25-year shelf life. Big Berkey water filters are powerful enough to purify treated, untreated, or even stagnant pond water. Combine Berkey water filters with Wise Foods for an unbeatable preparedness combination. Get free shipping on every order over $50, and GCN listeners receive 5% off all ceramic filter systems. Visit BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com or call 877-99-BERKEY. That's 877-99-BERKEY, or go to BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com.
The Genesis Communications Radio Network proudly presents The Alex Jones Show, because there's a war on for your mind.
Okay, go ahead and finish up the points you were making, Jeff.
Real quick. Yeah, I was just trying to tell everybody to go ahead, use your emails, use online bill pay, watch them destroy us, because once they pass the internet censor bill, SOPA or its evil twin that's on right now, they can turn off your internet, and then there's nothing you can do. You won't be able to communicate with the outside world.
And by the way, that's the plan. They have these big internet consortium meetings. They admit, destroy the old economy using the web, then shut down the open and free web and only allow the big players to operate. It's just like the globalists do with water systems, dams, infrastructure, roads we build. Then they come in, pay off the politicians to just hand it over to them, and they call it privatization. It's not. It's hijacking. Good points. Absolutely. You can say what you want about the post office, but there's a continual demonization of the infrastructure of it to basically phase it down to nothing and to make it super expensive so they can start charging more. Most people don't even know how to use a letter now. Also, it's very hard to spy on all the letters, but everything that goes over email, phones is being scanned by the NSA computers, they now admit. Remember, that was a wild theory. That would be illegal. I remember first being on air 17 years ago, and I'd say, Echelon, NSA system, here's a congressional hearing. They've got hubs at all the major telecommunications companies, randomly reading your faxes, phone calls, emails, and people calling and go, how dare you say that? That's illegal. Never in America. I work at the phone company. That'd be like, your digital cable box is tracking you. Here's the documents. Shut up. I used to listen to you, but you're a liar. Now it's just like, well, he's still bad, but it's good. They listen to us to fight Al-Qaeda. And I'm like, but Al-Qaeda, our government's putting them in charge in all these countries and set them up because it's not our government, it's the bankers. They fund the radical Muslims so they can attack us to take our liberties. And they just go, well, fine, I'll give my liberties up then. But I'm like, but Al-Qaeda works for them. I mean, there's even like Associated Press articles admitting the head of the 7/7 bombings in England, MI6. The head of the attack at Fort Hood and the Times Square and all these big bombings was admitted FBI asset and protected. I mean, the bankers run the terrorist. It's so elementary. And they use them to take our freedoms. It isn't our government. It isn't our country. It's been taken. If you show up at your house and somebody else is sitting in your chair saying they're you better go and get your neighbors and prove that you are who you say you are and get the person out of your house. There's actually been cases before I've read about in the U.S. and other countries where people come home and there's a criminal there who's claiming they're them, and the cops have come and the person can't prove who they say they are and they've arrested the wrong guy. That's what it is. It's not our government, but it sits there with all the trappings. We're about to go to break, come back with a few more calls, then go to our guest. But first, I want to point out 2 new films we're carrying. Both of them are amazing. The Toronto hearings on 9/11, uncovering 10 years of deception by Dan Dix, amazing filmmaker, 6 hours. You want to prove that 9/11 was an inside job. This is the latest intel. Continuing here with the information, here's the latest. We're going to get these guys on the show. Farmageddon. You want to know about the harassment and how they're attacking and taking over local farms under the pay of Big Pharma and Big Agra? Farmageddon, the unseen war on American family farms. Even the LA Times called it an eye-popping wake-up call. Even the LA Times. This is professional. You need to get it and support us. Infowars.com.
This is GCN, the Genesis Communications Radio Network.
Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones. I'm looking for people that have the wisdom to spot savings, opportunity, and recognize risk. Saving means to make money. The Cal-Ben Pure Soap Company can save you thousands of dollars and give you good old-fashioned real soaps that are triple concentrated and twice as good as what you're using now. Soaps made from vegetable and coconut oils that contain no useless dyes, perfumes, deodorants, or antibacterials. Your risk is the hundreds of hazardous toxic detergents that give you rashes, itching sores, and deteriorating clothing called lint. If you want something better, if you want something you've never had before, you have to do something you've never done before. Getting a free catalog is easy by calling 800-340-7091 or see Calvin on the web at 5starsoap.com. Take charge of your health now by calling 800-340-7091 or see Calvin on the web at 5starsoap.com.
Waging war on corruption. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. Big Brother. Mainstream media. Government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Worldwide transmission continues. Alan Watt with the latest analysis on the New World Order crime syndicate operations. Coming up, Ted Nugent declares, I will either be dead or in jail if Obama's reelected. He said Obama is wiping his hind end with the Constitution. Yeah, but so did Bush. And I used to get the Nugent on. I'll probably get him on again. And he'd be like, well, I hear you, but the Democrats are worse. Okay, well, it's like, do you want 500 milligrams of cyanide or 300? I mean, Benedict Arnold was worse because he posed as a patriot and wasn't. He was General Cornwallis or somebody, and I mean, respectable guy. He knows what side he's on. It's worse. The Republicans are worse. I mean, Obama's horrible. Horrible snake, duplicitous scum, filth, teleprompter reader. My point is, if you think Mitt Romney's going to save you, if he tried to be like Ronald Reagan and actually do something, he'd end up getting a bullet in him, just like Reagan did. And then a special trip to the Air Force Hospital, get some cold blood, brain damage him, and then they'd have to hop him up on amphetamines and roll him out to the public. Oh, yeah, Reagan was like anti-New World Order, giving speeches against the Trilateral Commission. He'd been a communist early on. He was reading the New American, John Birch Society stuff. He was reading Lyndon LaRouche stuff. And they were like, dude, you're not the president. Hinckley's have dinner with the Bushes. You know what happens the next day. Boom. Cameron in Ohio, you're on the air. Welcome.
Hello.
Hey, buddy.
We need to get angry, Alex. We need to be mad at our own government for turning its back on us. That's what we need to do. We need to unify and unite. And it's not that we have to be on Twitter or Facebook. We have to unite and show our power outside of the controlled matrix that they condemn us to, that they put us to, that they put it there for us. We have to show them our numbers and our strength and unite for liberty, Alex. Do you hear me?
Yeah, we've all got to get aggressive, but everybody's always looking for a silver bullet. We've got to denounce the foreign banker occupation, and then America was taken over. We've got to get it That message, the truth, this isn't the government. This is illegitimate and criminal, and everything it's doing is illegal, and they're staging terror attacks, and they're bringing the drugs in, and they're shipping the guns into Mexico and Honduras and Chicago and Dallas and Albuquerque to the drug gangs. The mafia took over America. The mafia took over America, just like they did Italy. But it's a globalist mafia of all different races and creeds and groups. And it's in there keeping people in the dark, and it's a mafia so powerful they hired high-tech scientists to come up with brainwashing and brain-damaging systems. And now the mafia is like, why don't we just start killing people and transfer their money to us with the medical treatments? And they said, yes, we're going to do that. And so they're just phasing in and testing now how to kill us, that they are the most evil scum you can imagine.
I know, and that's what makes my stomach turn, Alex. It makes me sick that right now all Americans aren't up in arms at our Capitol screaming. Why? Well, why are they doing this to us? Why? But why aren't we? That's what we have to understand. Why aren't we? We have to have a goal, which is life and liberty and the pursuit of happiness, which should be everyone's goal, but they're taking that right away from us.
Well, listen, they can't take any right away. They can say they have the right to take your 2-year-old daughter and have her cry as a fat man sticks his hand down her pants and grabs her genitals. But we expose it as pedophilia. We expose them as the pig monsters they are, the man-bear pigs they are. And we bankrupt the airlines and the system, not subjecting that. And then when they come to your house to try it, you got to defend yourself. These are the most demonic, perverted, filthy criminal scum, and we just keep calling them out. That's why they want to shut down the web and our freedom of speech, because the truth is savaging these murdering, narcotics trafficking, child molesting, filthy, gangster, eugenicist scum that have seized our country. But we first got to call them out for the gang rapists they are. Right now, the average family spends 1/4 of their income on food. It's time to cut your food budget in half by using the best, most affordable food on the planet from eFoods Direct. The savings from eating this food will actually help you pay your other bills. Serve these delicious meals to your family tonight for a quick and easy dinner for about $1.25 a serving, compared to over $3 a serving for any other food. This food is compact, making it easy to store some away, and will be just as delicious in 25 years as the ones you cook tonight. Is it affordable? Absolutely. The new Alex Jones Family Pack saves you up to 50% compared to other food storage companies. See the comparison at eFoodsDirect.com/Alex or call 800-409-5633. My friends, as crazy as this world is today, you'd be nuts to not get a storable food supply. Give eFoods Direct a call and order one of the Alex Jones Family Packs and test it out today. Start your journey of food independence today at eFoodsDirect.com/Alex or call 800-409-5633. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now, new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365. Hi folks, this is Alex Jones, and I want to tell you about the Silver Lungs generator. Now you can produce pure and endless colloidal silver and deliver the solution directly into the bloodstream by breathing the solution through the lungs. The respiratory system is the first line of defense for airborne pathogens and viruses. The Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced nano-silver solutions and also delivers the silver nanoparticles instantly into the bloodstream. With continued legislation threatening the sale of nano-silver products, you can now produce pure and endless colloidal silver with the Silver Lungs generator. Very easy to follow step-by-step instructions are provided, making production fast and simple. Go to www.silverlungs.com today and learn more about the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs generator. That's www.silverlungs.com.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
Everybody knows now. There are very few who are in denial. Everyone knows that the governments and major banks ship in the majority of narcotics and even grow and produce them. They own the aircraft, they ship the arms in. It's all come out in the news over and over again. The coca plants, the poppies, all of it. And they keep drugs illegal so that the price will be higher, so people will have to rob your house or rob your wife or rob you to pay it, and that money goes back to the banks. Then, when they catch the low-level zombies who are on their product, they then put them in large private prisons owned by the big money-laundering banks to then work for 25 cents an hour, driving down wages and displacing your jobs. And the good old boys cheer it. And they say, I work at the prison. I work at the Justice Center. And then their own son's in there, and they're proud of it. My boy's in prison now. I'm over him, but that's a good thing. That's America. He got caught with some of them drugs. Because the only job was dealing drugs or running the prison. And that's the predatory New World Order economy. Vicente Fox, who is a globalist, though, is probably pretty sad that his ranch is overrun down in Mexico and that the criminal government down there is going to lose control. See, they've lost the war with smaller cartels. The people are so poor, they're ready to die. They're not afraid to die. Pretty macho down in Mexico. I mean, it's more people dying every year than died in a year, times 3 times at least. 3 times the people die every year or more in Mexico in the fake drug war than died on the U.S. side in the Vietnam War every year. It's 40-something thousand the last 3 years. 58,000 died in over a decade of Vietnam, so do the math. And so now they're like, ceasefire, ceasefire. Let's decriminalize this stuff. And at the Summit of Americas, with all the hookers and the rest of it, with all of this going on, the news with the Latin American leaders was decriminalize. Stop it. They know Europe and some areas has done this. Crime rates drop massively. People then see drugs as a sad disease, not as sexy, associated with money. But see, the system has a 2-prong attack. Yet now over 20% of the population of women or higher, men close to that, school children over 20%, on psychotropic, brain-damaging drugs. And when they go haywire and kill people, they just then call for taking our guns. And then also push the illegal drugs on them. And the, quote, U.S. government, that means the big banks that run our government, that launder the money and control the Federal Reserve, they said, no, we're not getting rid of it. In fact, we're going to keep shipping guns into Mexico and Honduras to keep destabilizing things. We like it. We like it just fine because the war on drugs is a success. Corrupt the police, imprison the population, bring in drugs, kill the people with ODs, destroy society, have SWAT teams busting houses, kill people's dogs, kill insurance salesmen's wrong house, corrupt the police. You think prohibition, 10 years of alcohol prohibition, tripling the size of the mafia, corrupting police, hundreds and hundreds of millions made in those days' numbers a year. You think that was a success, prohibition for the mafia? Or was it a failure? Oh, no, don't make alcohol illegal. That you just made it criminals' domain. The government, the feds deal with child molestation rules and kidnapping rules because they publicly run most of the child kidnapping. They'll make a big deal out of some lone scumbag, but when they're loading little kids on C-130s to be flown to Saudi Arabia to have their heads beat in with claw hammers and snuff film with shotgun blast to the head, you know what? It comes out, Italian news reports it, German news reports it. They fire the people that report it. Not because they were wrong, but because U.S. government officials are involved. You got people that like to beat little kids' heads in with hammers after they rape them. That's who runs the world. Okay? And go look into what I just said, by the way. You're going to be like, that's a true story? Oh, yeah. Would you like to hear more? It's kind of like Starship Troopers on the news. Would you like to hear more? We take you now to Clandathu. We take you now to the planet Earth, where the crazy people run things. The New World Order is insane. And I want to bring this up to top researcher. He's a great researcher, Alan Watt, musician, author, radio host in his own right, cuttingthematrix.com. I want to get him on with us and out of the gates hear what he has to say today. Maybe hold him a little bit in the next hour and take some calls. But I wanted to get Alan on today to bring up this point because I have a theory, but it's not really a theory. It's kind of like I have a theory that crawdads come up to the edge of the water and hunt little frogs and things. Little crawdads, little freshwater lobsters, little freshwater crustaceans. It's not a theory. I watch them do it. I don't have a theory that ducks fly south in the winter and back north in the spring. I know it. And I've studied elites. It's like a tropism. In every case, going back to the beginnings of civilization, every culture built pyramids and sacrificed children on top of them every day. Every culture ate children. Every culture tortured people. What is that? That's what cultures always end in. Because psychopath, inbred, crazy people keep inbreeding. They're the ones that are like cancer. They're willing to do whatever to have power. They lust after it. And then something happens. They interbreed, which in every mammal species causes crazy behavior, antisocial behavior, megalomania, aggression, a sense of psycho-domination, masochistic bloodlust, bloodthirst. Every culture, study history. But then something worse happens. Syphilis has been with humans as long as we've been on this planet. Syphilis basically is microscopic worms that eat your brain. And almost all elites that have been studied had syphilitic brains. Pharaohs, mafia dons, British royalty. Jack the Ripper, the crown prince, running around killing people. So you've got syphilitic brains interbreeding with aggressive dominant people, creating hyper-psychopathic, blood-drinking goblin creatures, basically. That's what the New World Order is. That's why they do this. Why does a spider spin a certain web? Why does a squirrel bury nuts? It's inbred into them. Normal, wholesome people are blind to this because it's so alien. If we can ever admit and discover this historically, we wouldn't be doomed to repeat it. All right, I take you now to Canada, and Alan Watt joining us. Alan, what do you think of my statements, and what do you think of the point I made with the inbreeding and the syphilitic brain overlay?
Oh, it's pretty accurate. I mean, even Lenin, they found out the left part of his brain was pretty well eaten away when he died, and of course it was insane basically for the last few months. So it's a very common thing, but it really turns up in the second and third generation of elite, where they might all start off as gangsters or robbers or murderers, probably all of them in fact. And in the third generation, who get the education, come along and they start to form their clubs. And then they discuss the normal topics like, why are we so different from all the peasants that we rule over? And they come up with their own theories. And what they came up with, of course, is there's always been slavery. It's a natural thing. Slavery is a natural thing. And the peasants are always in a different mindset than we are, because we're the leisure class. And we have time to think about things, but the peasant doesn't. And then, of course, the fourth generation comes along, and then they say, well, the peasant actually can't think about that. He's actually inferior. He's low IQ. And this goes on for many, many generations, and until you hit the present time. Today, you're ruled by the same descendants that have been here for an awful long time.
And again, if you study the royalty, the Rothschilds, all of them, generally half the offspring are locked up in asylums. That's the half that survived. Generally, about half die, and of the half that live, half are criminally insane, literally acting like monkeys, and then the other half are just psychopathic control freaks.
The control freaks, but you must remember, too, these characters, like the Rothschilds, belong to their own secret societies, and they have them. And Benjamin Franklin, in fact, joined a couple of them, in fact.
Hell, Hellfire Club, yeah.
Yeah, and one in France too, the Nine Sisters Lodge. And he lived the same kind of lifestyle as he did over in France. When you see how much he was given per month by the French government, and the mansion they put him up in, and the parties, he had endless parties and all the top women of the day, etc. He actually enjoyed that lifestyle. But the thing is, corruption has always ruled the world. Charles Galton Darwin said the same thing, and he was another inbred descended from Charles Darwin, related to the Huxleys. Of course, all the top names are all related together. And he said there's always been slavery in one form or another. And of course, democracy is another form of it. It's a disguised slavery, and with income taxes, etc., and property taxes. And he says, we are in the process of creating a more efficient form of slavery. That was in the 1950s. Well, you were seeing the birth pangs as they go through, all training the public to be terrified, because they use the Soviet system as well, by the way. And we were supposed to be buckled under the threat of power being used against us. It works very effectively, as I say. It worked terribly well in the Soviet Union. And the kill method here isn't taking you at the moment into the streets and shooting you. The kill method is, of course, as you mentioned earlier, is to do with giving you cancers and various diseases that you're never fully 100% fit. Nobody today is. You can't be, with inoculations and the poisoned foods, etc. The elite don't get those injections. They don't eat the food.
And by the way, they brag about how they do it, but when you tell the general public about this, they're like, oh, that's scary. I just decide that isn't true. And the elites say, see, we openly admit we're killing them, and they don't care. And the mothers are like, that's right, I'm taking my kid in to give him a cancer shot right now. And then the mother will get attention when their kid dies a horrible death of cancer. And that, at the end of the day, is really what matters. It's like, gee, can my kid get cancer so I can buy him the cancer Barbie? That's what they really want. Folks, have you lost your power and wanted to simply flip a switch to get the lights back on? If so, this is going to be the most important message you'll ever hear, because there's never been a better time to get ready for the winter power outages ahead. Here's why. Solar-powered generators are now available from our friends at Solutions from Science, one of our oldest sponsors. Their emergency backup systems provide life-saving electrical power when you need it most. Unlike gas generators, a solar generator runs quietly, emits no fumes, and produces electricity from the sun. It's like having an electric power plant running quietly in your own home. Whether it's ice storms, brownouts, or blackouts, you'll never have to suffer through painful power outages again. When the power goes out this winter, you'll be ready with a solar-powered generator from Solutions from Science. Go to mysolarbackup.com for more information. That's mysolarbackup.com or call 877-327-0365.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at goberkey.com. That's goberkey.com today.
Hi, I'm Mark Craighead, founder of Crossbreed Holsters. I designed our top-selling holster, the Super Tuck Deluxe, to solve the problems of being poked, pinched, and gouged while carrying concealed. The Super Tuck Deluxe is the most comfortable, most concealable holster on the market today. We offer a 2-week free trial and a lifetime warranty.
Visit us at crossbreedholsters.com. Don't forget, crossbreedholsters.com. That's crossbreedholsters.com.
In a coming apart world, you need something to keep it tied together. That something is Atwood Rope, the highest quality rope made in the USA, from exotic braids for military, rescue, arborists, shipyards, tow line, or boating. Quality rope at affordable prices you and your customers can depend on. Find a dealer or shop online at atwoodrope.net. Enter promo code RADIO to receive 100 feet of 550 paracord free with purchase. Atwood Rope, working to keep the world tied together.
In an emergency situation, would you drink contaminated water? You could if you had the amazing LifeStraw from MyPatriotSupply.com. LifeStraw is the most advanced personal water filter available today. It filters contaminated water from almost any source. LifeStraw is lightweight and compact, perfect for hiking, camping, or in an emergency like a flood. LifeStraw is easy to clean, comes with a 1-year warranty, and has been used worldwide since 2005. Get the amazing LifeStraw personal water filter at MyPatriotSupply.com. Plus, check out Survival Seed Vault, 20 seed varieties for only $37.95, Tatler Kenning lids, long-term storable foods as low as $69.95, and much more at MyPatriotSupply.com. Enjoy stress-free shipping on all orders over $49. Call 866-229-0927 or visit MyPatriotSupply.com. That's 866-229-0927. MyPatriotSupply.com for emergency preparedness, self-reliance, and food independence.
Alan Watt is our guest. We'll open the phones up for those that are holding. You can talk about any issue. But we're discussing total control freaks who enjoy hurting the natural order. They want to be God. They're trying to overthrow the natural creation. Ugliness is beautiful to them. Alan, you were getting into their admissions. And what's incredible is we've posted all these documents. You've covered it. They admit they're putting cancer viruses in the vaccines. We have videos of the inventors of some of the biggest vaccines joking about killing hundreds of millions and laughing on PBS. And you talk to trendies and they go, well, there are too many people. And I'm like, listen, you maggot, you're being injected too. The GMO's for you. And they're like, whatever. It's like they think if they decide they've joined it, it's like they're on the team, even though they're being destroyed by it. And that's part of the mind control. Alan Watt, continue.
Yeah, that's all part of the education. In fact, to get at school in social sciences, there's many names for it, but it's really a new indoctrination into the value of life. What is the value of life? Are we more important than those guys over in Sub-Sahara or wherever? And they've already indoctrinated a whole bunch into that death is good. Orwell mentioned this too, not Orwell, but Huxley in Brave New World, where the children are brought round to dying, and it's a big party time. And now, of course, we're getting into euthanasia now. They've already been prepared for it. A whole generation is prepared that death is all right, and we should just celebrate it. And from then it goes on to, well, why don't we just kill them off earlier? There's too many people, or the pensioners will take all the money. It's going to cost a fortune to keep them going. Why not just use the money for us? And this is all happening right now as we speak, and no one really understands how it's all connected. We live through a plan. Everything from government is still the same part, the same of the long-term agenda. Depopulation, a Sovietized world, technically that's what it is. It's a Sovietized world, where, as I say, where right now they haven't bludgeoned everybody to death that they don't like. They're simply doing the soft kill and bringing down the populations globally. And whenever these third world countries sign on to the United Nations and the bubbles they give them, the bubbles are awfully good. We've had it used on ourselves at one time, a long time ago. And they take the bubbles and then they take the injections from the World Health Organization, and immediately they've got fertility problems. And they have very early cancer onsets, and especially in women too. It disrupts their whole hormonal system. Males as well turn into females almost. And that's the bisphenols, the estrogens. They've known about the bisphenols since the late 1800s when they first discovered them. They knew what it did to the public then. And they waited till the 1950s to put it into the plastic bottles, plastic pipes, everything's plastic, and only you're getting a good daily dose of it wherever you happen to be. So you're under full-scale attack. And you've got to understand, this is not a happenstance thing from one president or prime minister to the other. That there's not a difference between any president or prime minister. They've all belonged to the same organization worldwide since the late 1800s. And that's what Carl Quigley talked about in his book, Tragedy and Hope. So it's hard for most folk to think that that can continue, but it does. You've got to understand how long the Soviet system lasted. Look, it took 100 years to plan the takeover by the Bolsheviks, 100 years before even the first revolution in Russia. These guys are long-term planners because the world is their goal, and they work intergenerationally. They employ and train intergenerationally. And now, of course, with the school systems being pretty well universal, same curriculum, they're all indoctrinated from school. The education has plummeted since the 50s. Definitely the 60s, it really went on a rampage then. And the children are simply indoctrinated into socialism and groupthink. And especially in the U.S., individuality is pretty well eradicated. It's a nasty thing to be an individual. And the United Nations itself has said their main enemy to their whole agenda is individualism. It must be destroyed. So we are living through a plan. We've got taxes that are crippling the public. Never mind all the taxes on food. They're putting a tax here in Canada across all the food stuffs as well now, a value-added tax, or GST, HST, doesn't matter what they call it, it's all a value-added tax. And we must go into value-added taxes because when you're signing all the free trade agreements, then you're allowing to imports from all those countries which are tax-exempt at the import customs. Therefore, they don't want to lose that money. They simply put what they're losing onto you and make it up that way through your taxes. That's why they had to bring in value-added taxes for all free trade countries. The U.S. is still to get really hit by that in any significant way.
All right, stay there, Alan. But what you're saying here is empires don't die, they just reinvent themselves. And this is a secretive, parasite, Illuminati cult that's much older than the Illuminati. That's just one of the more modern names that understands how to control humans, that has advanced technologies, and who basically preys on humanity as a predator class, which was put into an allegorical form of the Morlocks and the Eloys by...
We're on the march. The Empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
I had tried everything. I'd cut back the amount of food I was eating. I was lifting weights and jogging, but nothing was working. My body was literally starving for minerals and trace elements as well as key vitamins. And as soon as I had that, I immediately could eat half of what I was eating previously and be satisfied. Now, there are hundreds of great products at InfoWarsTeam.com, but I want to point out the 3 that have helped me lose 37 pounds in just 2 months. Products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine, Pollen Burst, and Rebound. When I started taking the Tangy Tangerine and other products every day, I lost more than 37 pounds in just 2 months. Now that's results. I want to challenge my listeners to go to InfoWarsTeam.com and to order just 3 of their products, and you will see the changes in the way you look, feel, and in your appetite almost immediately. Start your journey to health and wellness today. InfoWarsTeam.com. Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite are now storing non-hybrid seeds in secret storage vaults near the Arctic Circle? Did you know that in a real meltdown, non-hybrid seeds can become more valuable than silver or gold? It's true, seeds have outperformed even gold and silver before in this country, and it's possible that could even happen again. So our friends at Solutions from Science have put together the perfect mix of non-hybrid seeds. They call it a survival seed bank, and it can produce an endless supply of nutrient-dense food for you and your family. And here's the best part. These seeds have not been genetically modified in any way, and you actually get enough seeds to plant a full-acre crisis garden. So visit them today at survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com, or give them a call at 877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365. Remember, in a real crisis, non-hybrid seeds are the ultimate barter item. This is Alex Jones for survivalseedbank.com. Right now, the average family spends 1/4 of their income on food. It's time to cut your food budget in half by using the best, most affordable food on the planet from eFoods Direct. The savings from eating this food will actually help you pay your other bills. Serve these delicious meals to your family tonight for a quick and easy dinner for about $1.25 a serving, compared to over $3 a serving for any other food. This food is compact, making it easy to store some away, and will be just as delicious in 25 years as the ones you cook tonight. Is it affordable? Absolutely. The new Alex Jones Family Pack saves you up to 50% compared to other food storage companies. See the comparison at efoodsdirect.com/Alex or call 800-409-5633. My friends, as crazy as this world is today, you'd be nuts to not get a storable food supply. Give eFoods Direct a call and order one of the Alex Jones Family Packs and test it out today. Start your journey of food independence today at efoodsdirect.com/Alex or call 800-409-5633.
I have sworn upon the altar of God eternal hostility against every form of tyranny over the mind of man. Thomas Jefferson. It's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central, 12 noon to 3 p.m. Eastern. Blasting out on XM channel 166. Blasting out on over 100 AM and FM stations. Blasting out on WWCR 100,000-watt global shortwave. And #1 on all the major metrics from Alexa to Shoutcast on audio streams and podcast. One of the number one in talk radio on iTunes. Now #1 on Roku, everything. Streaming video, prisonplanet.tv. And, you know, I get really fired up. Their conditioning didn't work on me. I read hundreds of government documents and republish them where they admit they're putting cancer viruses in the vaccines, the GMOs designed to sterilize us, the elites all have their own private farms, are obsessed with it, Wall Street Journal, LA Times, won't eat GMO, the Monsanto cafeterias at their elite facilities with their scientists. Since 1999, they had a rebellion and will not eat GMO. This is the genetic engineers. That's Associated Press. The Germans, the memos came out a few years ago, said don't take vaccines. And if you want them, we have a, quote, clean vaccine. That's real. I take it personal. I get upset. Last week, we worked real late. We were up here at 9 at night. And I said, guys, you've really kicked some rump. We've reached millions of extra people thanks to your work. Let me take you out to a Brazilian steakhouse. We get there about 9:30. And there is a child obviously damaged. And I go out on the street afterwards and see people with another child that's got neurological problems. And I started crying, and I mean sobbing in front of the guys. And they'd never seen anything like it. A few times on air, I've kind of thought about something, bring up the image, because it gets to me. This is a soft kill, covert holocaust against humanity. The West is dying. 1.3 children for every 2 adults. We're dying. It's painful. I'm not just some selfish idiot that wants to go, whatever, I'm going to drink beer and watch a football game. I love beauty. I love poetry. I love humanity. I love creativity. I love the innocence of my children, and I want them to have a future. And I think about how we're in the grasp of highly intelligent, inbred super psychos who base their culture on syphilitic hallucinations. We're living in the creation of hallucinating syphilitics. I mean, that's it. This is planet syphilis brain. And Hitler, it turned out, had syphilis. All of them. Stalin, Lenin, all of them, rotten brains. I mean, I now understand it. We are living in the wonderland of syphilitic crazy people. And again, even though they've cured syphilis, or the treatments for it by the 40s, the point is the whole culture is set by that. Inbreeding, syphilis. This is what democide is. This is why leaders throughout history, right when they have total control, just say, black uniforms, mass murder, burn cities, death, blah. That's what somebody with syphilitic brain rot will just go out and start stabbing people. Well, you give people, because again, the elites are, having sex with 20, 30 women, men a day. Nero, every time I say this, people don't believe it. You can look it up in the history. Nero, they would have these big day-long parties on holidays that they had basically every week. And his favorite thing to do with all the Roman elite in his palace is he would dress up like a werewolf, they'd chain up a child, and he'd run up. You got to read deeper to the histories because the main llamas don't like to put this in there, but he'd rape a child in public and then bite their throats out, ripping their arteries out, spraying blood all over him, dressed up in a wolf's outfit. What, Caligula after him married his horse. You don't get the full story on that. He was married to it. He made it the consulate, the head of Rome, the head of the Roman Senate. He would have the high priest. You read tea leaves, or they throw bones on the ground, or they cut a bull open and read their liver. Well, he would have the high priest, and that was one of the last straws for him, read its excrement. They all announce themselves God, and that's what Ray Kurzweil and all of them are doing. Oh, we're God, we're merging with the computers, release the GMO, whatever happens is natural because we did it and it's a mutation. They're going to destroy the planet. Okay? They're crazy, the planet. Okay? They're crazy. If Nero wants to marry his horse and rip children's throats out 2,000 years ago or whatever, or 1,800 years ago or whatever, that's bad enough. They got nuclear weapons. They've got antimatter weapons. They've got biological weapons. And they're going to kill everybody. Including, they're building giant underground bases, huge redoubts, seed vaults, total insanity. And everybody that works for these people better start sabotaging them however you can to resist them. And I don't mean physically. I mean, you just better start resisting however you can, or there's no future. Alan Watt, can you feel the sense of immediacy? You've got the floor. What do you say about what I just broke down? What's the latest on Alan Watt, cuttingthroughthematrix.com's radar screen?
Well, they're definitely ready for a big cull. I mean a physical cull as well. You look at the nonsense with the Olympic Games in London. You've got a warship in the Thames. You've got guided missile systems. They're now putting snipers and helicopters to go over the crowds, army snipers. This is supposed to be a peacetime country, and everyone is literally living inside a prison camp. This is the sort of thing you expect in a prison camp. I'm a real, futuristic prison camp. This is not life for the general public, but they're training. They're using these big games, etc., to get us all trained either through attending the things yourselves or watching on television. That this is the new system. Be very afraid of the new system because there are a lot of really nasty stuff to implement socially still yet. And they're training the people step by step through fear. And to be honest with you, I don't see any peaceable way out of this because, remember, Quigley said that these guys have been running all the countries in the West since the late 1800s with this particular agenda. I cannot see them giving up because we asked them nicely. I can't see them giving up if you even try to run your own guys in there into the offices of the presidency. I can't see it happening. It's never happened in 100 years. It's always their boy gets in. And so you're living through an agenda, as I say. But at the top of the tree, above even the syphilitics, you have another group who do run the banking system. Their names are generally never mentioned much in the papers at all because they're not open to the public. They're not really public figures. And they have their own particular agenda. But you've got to go back to ancient times to the present in this particular society. It has always said, and Albert Pike said this in his own book, Moral and Dogma, for the Masons, the Bible of Freemasonry at the time. He said, those who will not use their own intellect to think for themselves are therefore meat on the table and beasts of burden by choice and consent. Now that really was taught to all the elite, generation to generation. That's the simple explanation they claim as to why you're all down there and they're up there, you see. You're inferior species, you are slaves, and you never complain. If you complain, it's always petitions and please, please, please to a bunch of wolves, and you get nothing done in return for it. It doesn't work, obviously. So they know they're getting to a step where
you understand, democracy, even this farce, I call it a farce, there's never been democracy, but the farce of democracy is to be eliminated altogether eventually in the planned society, where you have your own communitarian areas like they have in Britain. They've got regions set up in the States as well. They take power away from your local education authorities, they give it to the state, or even between 3 states. So it gets further and further away. The ability for the ordinary person to go and complain about anything to a politician or a representative or an official goes further and further away. And that trains you that it is remote. It is remote until eventually you don't even think about complaining to them. It's out of the question. You take it for granted you're now simply ruled by experts and scientists. And that's how they've already trained the youngsters. Youngsters today are already trained in this. They're getting that at school. And it's a better way, they claim. And they can do away eventually with elections altogether. Technocracy is a technique now we've watched in Europe. They place their own boys from the Central Bank of Europe right into countries as the prime ministers, no election. That's to happen elsewhere too, and in the States as well. I think in the U.S., though, they'll have a lot more trouble. They do expect resistance. Really what you would expect in the States is just simple not even rebellion, be on a personal level when people start losing their homes en masse, that type of thing. Or they've been told there'll be no more private property under Agenda 21, and they simply burn your house down with you in it, or you evacuate it. That's really what's happening. So in the U.S., there will be ragtag, sporadic, uncoordinated, non-disciplined rebellion on small levels. But look what they're ready for. Look at the ammunition they ordered in for the Homeland Security for close-quarter battle. You don't use pistol dum-dum bullets, hollow points, for overseas. You can't use them overseas against other armies. You can only use them on your own population. But they've got 750 million rounds ordered. What do you think that's for? What do the people out there think that is for? It's not for target practice. It's too expensive for target practice. You use the ordinary rounds for that. It's simply for it to be used on the public.